Hi everyone, Mama Shark here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hashtag the mom that does it all. And I'm also on Instagram on Mommy Shark Uncensored. Today I'm going to be talking about the Willow container. Oh my gosh, I finally got it. I'm so excited. My favorite cordless pump has finally released a reusable container to be used, which is awesome because you save so much money on those really expensive bags. Feel free to subscribe. I actually have a lot of videos on the Willow and the LV pump, both cordless pumps, and tips and tricks and all the fun stuff you want to know about breastfeeding and managing your day-to-day life with a little cute baby. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to tell you guys that I will have a table of contents. I want to cover everything you want to know about these containers and the Willow pump containers and inserts that comes with this. So feel free to look in the description box below and navigate wherever you need to go to know about whatever you want to know. I also have the link to this in the description box along with any promo codes the Willow has for you to use. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so first of all, for anyone that doesn't know what the Willow pump is, it is a cordless pump that makes any breastfeeding mama's life, or I should say pumping, or I should say any mama that pumps breast milk a lot easier, because you could take this with you anywhere and you can pump anywhere. And oh my gosh, do I wish I had this when I traveled internationally and needed to pump literally with a little squeezy pump. But anyway, yeah, so the first thing is this is a pump that you can pump breast milk with. Okay, so how do we want to use? So what initially this pump, and this is the Willow 2.0. So there's two versions, the 1.0 and 2.0. And again, if you scroll through my videos, you'll see a lot more descriptive videos on that. I will also put in the description box below. But basically, they came out with a container that attaches to the 2.0, and you can, unfortunately, it only attaches to the 2.0. You cannot get it to attach to the 1.0 because, as you can see here, the clasps are magnets. So it goes right on. With the 1.0, not magnets. So if you try to put it on, it's not gonna work, guys. I'm so sorry. So yeah, only the 2.0. Okay guys, so the next thing I want to talk about is what's the sizing this container comes in. So as you can see here, we have two containers at 27 millimeter flange sizes. Okay, so this is what's inside, and this is what the container looks like. And I will describe what these pieces do, but you have a bunch of moving pieces here, lock, unlock dial, the actual insert, and we have a little air vent up here. So they had a 1 and a 2 mode, and obviously this goes on top, but this is where you empty the milk. Okay, so how do you put this pump together? I will show you all the little details first up close, and so you know how this pump operates. But so right now the insert is in lock position. There's a little lock up here, which I will show you, and you unlock, and that's how the pump insert comes out. So this, again, this is the 27 millimeter. Now, most women pump with a 24 millimeter flange. That's where most women land, and that's where it comes as a separate insert. I will put the prices up here so you guys can see how much the containers cost, but the container itself is $49.99, and I will put the prices of the insert right up here. Okay, so it comes with, you can buy a 21 millimeter or a 24 millimeter. I'm a 24, so I have the 24 here. And you have the actual insert. 2 inserts, obviously. So the way you place this in is you're gonna want this top piece to go right there. So you go in, you click it in place, you push it in, okay? And then you want to make sure you go from the unlock to the lock, just like that. As simple as that, guys. It's simple. I know there's a lot going on with the container, so once we demystify it, everything will be simple. Then you have the flex tube, which you already have with a Willow 2.0, and you put it on just as you would expect. But the only difference here, guys, is this will not click into place like it does with the bags, okay? This, you just have to put it on, place it, and then just press firmly. You take this, and then you take the 2.0, and you put it on. And it's ready to be used. So when you want to use this, you want to make sure that this little blue disc is actually on inside, and you want to make sure you're maintaining the suction, so it has to be on correctly. And you'll see how there's a little flap. That flap needs to lay inside. I will make another video on troubleshooting the Willow container, and I will post that later. But yeah, I wanted to tell you that you have to make sure this is on correctly. When you want to pump, you want the little one on. So you turn the one. So the reason for that is, again, I will show you up close, but there's a little vent hole. And for it to properly suction, you want that vent hole open. So when you place it, the dial on 1, you're leaving that vent hole open. Now when it comes to pumping and then being done, you want to make sure that you turn that dial to 2. The reason for that is you want to close that vent hole before you do the flip to finish. While you do that, because you do not want to lose your milk. Now when it comes to emptying the milk, you take this vent off, and then obviously you want to just take it off after you flip to finish, and then you just empty your milk. And I can show you as well, when there's milk in here, how to do this exact process. You guys see that little hole? So when you're on a 1, you have a little vent hole right there where I'm pointing at within my nail. That needs to be open while you're pumping. When you're done pumping, you want to put the dial on 2, which basically just covers up that vent hole so nothing escapes when you're about to do the flip to finish, and obviously empty the milk. But this vent hole right here is a reason you cannot lay down with, obviously lay down with the container. So you want to make sure that you're always staying upright while you're pumping. And obviously when you're on a 1 and you're trying to pump, you want this to be closed just like this. And this is the flap that I'm talking about. you see how it's sitting backwards right there. You want to make sure that that's on firmly and it's sitting backwards properly before you start pumping with the pump. Yes, you can use the app with this. Now I see the container is marked all the way up to 4 ounces. So it's marked all the way up to 4 ounces, but you can actually get more. Now it just depends on your sensor how much you can actually get in here, but it can fill a lot more than 4 ounces. I was able to get 4.5 with one pump, so you can definitely fill more before the app tells you, oh, you've reached your maximum, you cannot pump anymore, and before it turns off. Another thing you want to consider with using the container is that you will have to empty the milk out before you can reuse it. If you're in an environment that might not necessarily be clean and you obviously do not want to contaminate your breast milk, such as if you work in a hospital, you're a nurse, whatever it is, you're a doctor, you're traveling on a plane, you don't want to deal with having, to compromise your breast milk, that's when it's probably best to use the bags, because once you're done with the bags, you can just put it away and keep it in a closed container. Another thing is, you might be wondering, does this affect the suction? Believe it or not, guys, it does not affect the suction as long as everything is put in place correctly. And as long as the suction is not compromised. Again, I will address those items in the troubleshoot video. But for now, if you're using this correctly, the output, the time to get that output is all going to be the same. The last thing I want to address with you is cleaning. This is oddly shaped, so you might already be aware that the flex tube they're really easy to clean with the brush that comes with the pump. So they're very easily insertable in from each side basically, and then you can scrub it in some hot water and soap, so you're good there. Okay guys, so when it comes to cleaning these, it can be a little complicated because of the way it's shaped, and then there's really no brush that can go in here and properly clean this container. So the first thing you want to do when you want to clean this is remove the insert by locking and unlocking, as I showed you earlier in the video. And once you do that, you actually have full access to the container all around. So, okay guys, as promised, as you can see, the insert is removed like I just showed you. And the next thing is I'm going to show you my favorite brush. Like I said earlier, I use for everything, bottles, baby bottles, the LV pump. I've also used this for the LV pump, and I'll post that later, but pretty much for everything, because it is flat in the top and has sharp corners that can reach the hard to reach areas in these containers and bottles. So this is why I like this brush. I will put the link to this brush in the description box below. But basically the way I use it, and this is, you'll see this firsthand how it can get right in the hard to reach areas, is basically I will use those sharp corners to reach the hard to reach areas, just like this. As you can see, it's getting in the areas on the very top of the container. Now anything that's obviously touching on this side, it's also cleaning the other side. And then anything that's harder to reach in this big brush, I just pretty much get with this brush, as you can see here. So I basically go all around. Now, just bear in mind, you're not going to be able to get every single corner. So that's why it's really important to wash it right away before the milk dries, and also soak in hot water and soap, and even sanitize. And I, believe it or not, sanitize this, or I should say sterilize it with the sterilizer once a day, or every time I use it, I pretty much sterilize that day. Just got to make sure you're not warping it, so you have to put it in the top layer of the sterilizer, or just wash in some vinegar. That can also work as well. And obviously let it air dry. Thank you guys for watching my video. Again, subscribe, and I have a lot more helpful videos to come. I also want to start posting about study-based findings on breastfeeding, breast milk, formula, whatever it is, anything that has to do with infants and toddlers, and anything scientifically backed. I want to start posting about that. So, you know, if that is anything that interests you, please subscribe and tune in to my next video. Thank you guys again. And if you have any interest in following me on Instagram or Facebook, again, my Instagram is Mommy Shark Uncensored and my Facebook is Mommy Shark. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Please feel free to share any comments or feedback in the comments below. Thank you again. Bye-bye.